Welcome back, guys. So, in our series of PostgreSQL, we are discussing replication. So, first of all, we are going to talk about file-based replication, which is asynchronous mode. You already know, okay? Asynchronous mode, and it is a physical part of physical replication. Okay, so we are discussing file-based replication in our this video. So, in this, wall files are shipped to shipped from master to the standby server to keep data in sync. The change, you already know that changes to your Postgres servers are getting copied to your wall files, and these wall files are copied to the archived location if you have continuous archiving on. So in the replication process, file based replication process, we we allow our wall files to be archived to a location of the our slave server or a standby server, so that all the wall files from the master server gets copied to the standby server in its archived location and archived to that location, and then the standby server will apply these wall files to its local database, and that's how it gets in sync with the master server. Okay, so master can directly copy the logs to the standby server or can share the storage with the standby server, and then standby server can copies them. So both can happen. Okay, so the primary server operates in continuous archiving mode. It copies all of its changes to the wall files, and once the archive wall files gets full, it will be archived to the archived location mentioned. Okay, so whereas each standby server operates in continuous recovery mode, it do not accept any changes to the from any user and applies to it. It only accepts the changes from the master, and it's in the recovery mode only. Okay, and reading the wall files from the primary master mode. File based log shipping is asynchronous, and we already talked about it. One wall file can contain up to 16 MB of data. Once the data in a wall file reaches 16 MB, it gets archived. That wall file gets archived to the archive location. Before that, it stays in the wall file segment. Wall files are shipped only when it reaches this threshold. This threshold value, like 16 MB. Before that, it will be there. This will cause a delay in the replication, as if your database has very less data or very less transactions. So when it reaches the 16 MB, only that then it will be reaches to only that it will be copied to the archive location. Okay, before that it stays there. Okay, so what are the steps for applying these changes on the uh, apply file based replication? Okay, so here are a few steps. We need to stop the master server, and we need to check the PostgreSQL is running from administrator privileges. We need to modify PostgreSQL to set our archive mode. We have already talked about this in our earlier video. Where we are setting up continuous archiving. Okay, so this is same, but in this we are just updating the archive location of our standby server. So this is quite same from that video. Okay, and set archive location of the replication server. That's a location, and you can use archive mode on archive command location of the directory of your standby server where you want your wall files to be replicated. Okay, and these are the changes on the master server. On the slave server, the same process you need to check. Your Postgres needs to be run with the administrative privileges, so that it will be able to read the wall files and applies that to your Postgres database. If it is not running from the administrative privileges, it will not apply all the changes to the database. Okay, so you need to make sure uh, both of the Postgres servers are running uh, with the administrative account. You can create a new account or you can use the admin account of your system for running PostgreSQL, okay, on both the servers. Create a shared drive on standby which is accessible from master. Like you need to create a master shared folder on the master server, on the standby server, and you need to share that folder with the master server. Okay, I'll show you when we are doing the lab I'll show you how to do this. Okay, I have already mentioned a step like create a directory on the standby server, change the properties of the folders to shared by the user of the this user master server. Okay, and stop Postgres on standby server. After this you need to stop the Postgres on standby server, then delete the contents of the data directory. Once you delete the contents, you need then you will be copying the all your data directory from the master server so that it will have the earlier data from the master. Okay, and then after copying the data from the master server, start Postgres on. No, we are not copying that right now. We are just deleting the contents of the data directory right now. Then going over to the master, start Postgres server there, connect to database and put the database in backup mode so that it will not accept anything to this location. Okay, it will not accept anything, it will be in the backup mode. So for that, this is the syntax: select pg start backup. You can name the backup anything you if you want. This is the syntax. By this the database will be in the backup mode. Okay, after this you need to copy the data directory from the master to the slave server. You can use um, shared drive or anything, you can use that here. Okay, and then put the master database out of the backup mode. Okay, for that you can, need to issue this command: select pg stop backup. Okay, and then on the slave server, on the standby server, you need to open postgresql.config file. Okay, and comment out these parameters as you have copied all the data directory. So your postgres.config file will be copied from the master to the slave, but we do not want our slave to be in the archive mode. Okay, so we need to comment down these two variables which are uncommented in master server. Okay, then you need to on the slave server, replication server, you need to set up the recovery command. Okay, so your wall files gets copied to the standby server. From that location where your wall files are gets copied archived, from that archive location, yeah, those wall files needs to be applied to the standby server. Okay, so for that you need to set this recovery command. Okay, syntax for this is restore command, and this is the location and the command for your restore command. And then after you need to create a standby.signal file so that your database will know that it's in a standby mode, and this file will stay there until your database in this mode all the time. Like if you have set up your database in standby mode, so this file will stay there. Okay, all the time. Then you need to start the Postgres on standby server. Yeah, Postgres engine will see if there is a signal file. This signal file will direct Postgres that it's in a standby mode, and it will not accept any further read or insert connections, insert or update connections. It accept only read only connections, and then you can check the logs to see everything is fine. Okay, so one thing here, the WAL files will be copied from master database to the archive location on the standby server. When the files reach their threshold value like 16 MB, only then they will be copied to the archive location on the standby server. Before that, the WAL files will not be copied. Okay, so by this, the standby server will not have the updates from the master until the file, these WAL files gets full and gets archived to the location. So the standby server will be sometime behind from the master. This can happen, but on a larger systems when you have a lot of transactions going on, and there those databases, this will not take much time. But on smaller systems where you have small transactions going on, they do not occupy all this space. This will be some later time. There's a one more parameter. uh, if you want your wall files to be archived at particular time, uh, archive, that is variable is archive timeout, we'll see in the lab. But that will be copying your wall files if they are empty as well. Okay, if your wall files are empty, in that case also, after that particular time, they will be copied over to, archived over to the standby server. So that's not our best practice. Like, we don't want to copy the unfilled or half filled wall files to the archive location. Okay, so these are the all steps, and I'll be seeing in the lab when we are doing a practical and apply the file based replication. We'll have two servers, master and standby. One will treat one server as master server and create another server as standby server, and that will accept the changes from the master. So we see how this works in real time, and we'll be doing the practical in our next video. Okay, so that's all with this video. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.